Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps lots. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are after market close on Monday, March 28th. We're going to take a look at Tilray today. Now, Tilray, as you know, had this wild run-up last week along with a bunch of the other MJ stocks. You see the huge volume increase here. You know, in the news that there was going to be some legislation that was going to be going through the legislature. And you know, that obviously pushed a big run-up. Now, as you see, I have all of these levels in here. I have these old trend lines. I'm going to get rid of the trend lines, but I want to point out that because these are here, because this is from a super old video that I would have done on Tilray. I don't know when the last Tilray video I did was. I assume it's several months ago. But these are still those same levels from that video. Now look at how well these held up. When it had this consolidation here in February, it was batting around between this 674 and 708, dropped below, came back. Where did it hit resistance on this candle? What's the high of that day? 707. 1 penny shy of that level that I had put in months and months and months ago. Now the good news, and then I'll talk about the less good news for Tilray bulls. The good news is it came and it pushed through this 768 level. And then today we see it's down a bit over 6.5%. But what it's doing is it came down and it directly tried to test this 768 level, getting as low as 761 today. So this to me says this chart is wildly intact still. And the potential good news for the bulls is, push through these levels, pushed past this 768 level, now it's coming back down to test it. Now, if it can confirm that as support, then it might have some real run room here. I don't know if it would have the run room all the way to this 1005 level. I probably need to throw in an additional level right around here, say 846, and then maybe another pivot right around 9. I mean, that's probably mostly a psychological level. Let's throw those two levels in since they'll be pretty critical if this continues to run. So I would look at, where do we want to stick this exactly? I would say right around this. Well, let's grab those highs, right? So we'll grab those highs and that wick low. And then on this one here, we'll look at like this pivot right around here, just shy of that $9 range. So I would say mid 8s and then just shy of 9 are the next levels if it can confirm this 768 as support, which is what it's trying to do today, it looks like. But this is a very indecisive candle, right? This is almost equidistant wick on the top and the bottom, and then the body, just central. And so that, to me, speaks as a pretty indecisive candle. Now, obviously, that's preceded by a very bullish candle here, engulfing prior candles, and then the gap up and the wick extended from the bottom, showing that the volume was really there for the bulls to keep pushing the price up, and it got eaten up every time that it tried to dip below. So while that continued to be the same today, that the dip belows were bought up, it wasn't able to sustain the highs. So that's why I say it's inside the full length of this candle. If you include the wick, it's outside the body though, right? It's down outside the body. So to me, indecisive candle today. Best chance for the bulls, confirm support at 768 and make an attempt at reclaiming mid 8s. I have 844 on the chart, but we could think of it probably as just that psychological 850 level. If it can't hold that, to the downside, what I would look for is there is a small gap here, right? There's a small gap from 725 down to 707. So just a few pennies, and it would test this 708 level. So if it can't hold 768, what I'd look for it to do is to come down and try to test this 708 level, which might in reality act as that psychological $7 level. So just keep that in mind. Like these weird, 1005 amounts, right? That might just and practically play out as $10 because that's the psychological barrier. $8.95 might just play out as 9, so on and so forth. But in any case, that's what I look for to the downside. If it does draw down, fill this gap, see if it can hold and or bounce at 708. That might indicate that it has some juice left in it. The other component is here is obviously we're doing analysis on the chart. The chart is probably coming in a strong second to the news cycle, right? To me, this is going to be heavily driven by the news cycle, and then the chart will come into play in either direction, right? So if there's bearish news, we'll come down and we'll see what levels this can hold. And if there's bullish news, then we'll see what levels it can overtake. And until then, I think that it's predominantly just going to ebb and flow with the news cycle. Now, if there's a lengthy period of no news or of just delayed news, a decision delay, then maybe that will bring some interesting movement that's just sort of like based on the chart itself. But it would have to maintain some decent volume, which it still is maintaining, compared to the lull in the volume that you see in this realm. Even today's volume, though it was down from the previous days, still much, much higher than those. So we're clocking in over 90 million today. And when it was in its lull here, it would have, 20 to 25 million or so on a decent day. So as long as it can maintain some, solid movements on the volume side of things, that will help for sure. Now, if we want to pop it over and check out just the 5-day chart to see if there's any additional levels to think of, no. I would say probably not. I mean, there's a level but it's to the downside here, probably just shy of $6, meaning shy if you're descending, you're coming down to $6. But otherwise, as you see, we had the pump up here, right? You had this initial rejection off of 674, consolidate, and then that huge push up. And then it's really just kind of been flagging, more or less between this stretched down like 725, but really between this like 750 and 850 level is mostly where it's been consolidating. So it'd be interesting to see in the shorter term if it breaks below 750 and doesn't get a strong bounce off that 708, you might see a strong retracement down. If it breaks through that 850 level and makes a solid run toward 9, then you might see a stronger sustained movement on the bullish front. So that's what I'd look for in the interim. Now, hopping over here, I thought I'd pull this up for you from Unusual Whales. This is just to show you what whales are doing at the moment. I typically just kind of like hone in here on the bullish versus bearish premium. So right now we see the whales, meaning the folks with big money, predominantly betting on a bearish sentiment at the moment, but just barely. So 53.7 of bearish premium and 46.3 of bullish premium. So slightly bearish from the whales perspective, but a couple of things to note. That's premium above $1,000 or $1,000 and above. And also, sometimes these things change significantly over different periods of time. So this is not meant to be a be-all end-all. Of course, just another way to kind of take a look at something and see what some other players in the space might be doing. All right, folks, that is my take on Tilray at the moment. I hope that your trading week got off to a good start today. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.